Hi everyone, hope you're doing well, being safe and being kind. Thank you so much for joining me for this video and welcome to Tarot by the Pines. I am your hootin' of a host for this channel, Jason. This video is all about this brand new deck that I have purchased, Tarot of the Owls by Elizabeth Alba and the guidebook written by Pamela Shin. Elizabeth Alba is the illustrator of my Grand Dame, my favorite deck, the Everyday Witch Tarot. And then Pamela Shin, she has some works out there in the world, but the one that I know her predominantly from is the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, which she had created. Not sure if that deck is still out there or not, but that's where I know her from. Of course, this is a Llewellyn deck, so those who know me know that I am a Llewellyn deck snob. So, the Tarot of the Owls. Spread your wings and fly into the realm of mystical owls. Unlock your intuition with wisdom from owls of all shapes and sizes. This Rider-Waite-Smith-based deck features spectacular artwork by Elizabeth Alba and a companion guide by Pamela Shin. You'll connect with the four parliaments of the minor arcana: Great Horned, Burrowing, Barn, and Snowy Owls, the unique members of the major arcana, and the royal owls of the court cards. Tarot of the Owls teaches you how to use their insight to conquer daily challenges and create the life you truly desire. 78 card deck with 224 page guidebook. Now, this is a very interesting deck purchase for me. For one, I purchased this deck because of the lovely artwork, but for me, who is trying not to buy as many decks as of lately, I had this simmering on my wish list for quite some time, and I kept lingering in the back of my mind, and I finally just pulled the trigger, and I actually just used this deck for the very first time on a live with Robin over at Toadstool Tarot. Which I will put in the link to that live in the description box below so you can check that out. So it was a very surprising deck to work with during that live. So I figured I would share my thoughts on this. So it is a wonderful box. It is a sturdy box like a Llewellyn deck that I come to anticipate. Here's the guidebook. It's full color, but I'll get into that much later. It has a ribbon here that you pull open the cards. This is just the major arcana. Don't get scared that that's all the cards you get. And here is the actual back of the cards. It is non-reversible, but I really like this image on the back. Very colorful, very kind of inviting. It's just really awesome. So I'm really surprised by that. So let's go ahead and get into the major arcana. So here we have the Fool. So we have the little owl here, and it looks like they have a little pack on the back. Is that a squirrel? It might be a squirrel. I don't know what that is. But this little owl here is taking the leap of faith off of the branch. Very RWS inspired indeed. We have the Magician here, which is the cover of the box. Have all four of the suits here: Cup, Pentacles, Sword, and Wand. Okay, honestly, this High Priestess is not my favorite. It's just, I am missing quite a few things here. I'm missing the two, the boulders, kind of missing, you know, that traditional artwork here, but it's okay. It's beautiful, but I kind of miss that traditional artwork. All about trusting your intuition. The Empress here, very beautiful. I like this green owl here. This card is all about abundance and creativity. Going into the Emperor here, this is a very strong leader, kind of the boss, you know, the person that you would look up to when it comes to the hierarchy. Very traditional. The Hierophant, so we have the very traditional artwork here. We have the two owls here. We got the two keys. You have this Hierophant in the middle of the two trees here. All about tradition, going to seek higher wisdom, which, you know, when it comes to an owl, I always think of wisdom anyway. The Lovers here. I really like this image, but I wish the snake wasn't as predominant, but that's okay. That is something part of the Lovers anyway. All about connecting and making that choice between relationships. The Chariot here, this is very interesting. You have two cats instead of the very traditional image on the RWS. You have the owl here in the carriage. It's all about movement here. Not a favorite, but I do see how they made a connection with the two cats from Elizabeth Alba with her Everyday Witch Tarot, since every card has a cat on it. Strength here. This was very interesting to read about in the guidebook. Very beautiful card. It's all about having that strength. Even someone who, you know, may seem as strong and tall and just very courageous, sometimes they have that weak spot, and then that's when something like an owl who's very smaller than the lion, they come in, can rescue them and just kind of lift them up, lift their spirit. So that was a very beautiful interpretation. So we have the Hermit here, very traditional. You have the Hermit here secluding oneself from the other world, or the world rather, and just really honing in to their intuition before setting back out into the world. Wheel of Fortune, very cute here. I like the green owl, of course, and each little fan here has the iconic symbol within the traditional Wheel of Fortune. What comes down, I mean, what goes up must come down. You're gonna have to take the happy with the sad and vice versa. Justice here, very interesting, has that very kooky image of here with the owl giving that, you know, very twisting their head. It's just really cute, but strange and weird, but I love it. All about being fair. Going into the Hanged Man here, I would have liked seeing the Hanged Owl, but that's okay. That's me being very nitpicky. All about flipping one's perspective to see the other side. Death. So this is about rebirth, even though that death is a very scary thing, but it's also about that transformation, that rebirth. When one door closes, another one opens. See, the big black owl here is taking these two dead owls and just basically going to rebirth them. The Temperance, not a fan of this image. It's not bad. It's just, it doesn't strike me as much as the rest of the major arcana. It's all about having that balance of within your life, that juggling between work and pleasure, and just having a balance to create that harmony within one's life. The Devil here, being tempted. So you have the red owl here with the two mice. Kind of scary, not gonna lie. Speaking of scare, we have the Tower here. So these owls' nest has caught on fire, presumably from the lightning. It's all about having one's foundation break, so that way when all that crumbles down, you can rebuild from the ground up. Because sometimes you need to do that in life. The Star, not my favorite. I would have loved to have seen the actual face of this owl. This is all about having hope and faith once you come out of that traumatic experience. The Moon, ain't this cute? So the moon has an owl face on it, then you have the owl here, and then you have the rabbit, the lobster, and maybe a chipmunk here. All about trusting one's gut and embracing the mysterious side. The Sun, this is so cute. So you literally can feel the joy from the sun here beaming down on these sunflowers and the owl. It's just, it radiates joy, and probably one of my favorite sun cards ever. Going into Judgment here, going to be biased. I love all this green, basically about being, you know, having that light bulb moment in your life. And then the World. Not a big fan of the World card in general, but I kind of like this. I kind of anticipated this, to be honest, an owl sitting on top of the world. Having that all of your dreams and accomplishments come to fruition. You're basically living your best life, and now that chapter has closed. So what other chapter you have in front of you? What are you going to do now? So going into the cardstock, I really like Llewellyn cardstock to begin with. Very easy to shuffle, not too glossy, and works really well if you riffle shuffle. So going into the Minor Arcana, which is my favorite part, we have all of the aces lined up: Ace of Wands, Swords, Pentacles, and Cups. What I really like about this deck is that each ace has a baby owl featured on the card, which represents new beginnings, the potential of that owl. And what I also like about this deck is that each suit represents the different seasons that I really look for in a deck. So the Wands represent the summer, the Swords is all about the dead of winter, the Pentacles is all about that harvest, so you're in that autumn time, and then Cups is of course the lovely springtime. So going into the Wands, the Wand suit is all about your passions, that creative juices, and getting that spark. So for the ace here, you have the baby owl here with the singular wand. The Two of Wands, about planning your goals. So you have the owl here perched up on this wand, but you can see here that this other wand is basically standing in front of it, so this acts as a foundation for the owl. The Three of Wands here, beautiful card. I love how the sun just radiates, and the owl has their back to you, which is very common in the traditional Three of Wands. So when the two, you have the planning. So for the three, you're actually going forth and putting all that planning to work. Going into the Four here, that celebratory card. Have the four pillars here with the rose, not roses, flowers. Very traditional Four of Wands. Going into the Five here, that conflict card. So you have 5 different owls here having some type of disagreement. So there's a little bit of conflict here. Going into the 6. Okay. So for the 5 and 6, they're very easy to think one is the other. The only thing that I see here is the actual flowers along with this wand here with the wreath on it. That's the only interpretation that I see that I can specifically know that is the Six of Wands, which is about being celebrated through your triumphs. So you have all here, the 5 owls celebrating this owl coming back from their hard, victorious battle. So for the 7 here, you're on the defense. So this owl, this singular owl, is on the defense as all 7 of the wands are basically being thrown at it or being put up in front of the owl. The 8 of Wands here, all about that fast movement. There is definitely fast decisions that need to be made here. Basically go with the flow. There's no time to stop. The 9 of Wands, almost to the end, you have the single owl here. What I really like is that it throws back to that traditional RWS artwork of the 9, where the person has a bandage on their head, as is they have been through so much, but they're almost at the very end. Going into the 10 here, the burden card, that basically carrying too much responsibility, and it's time to delegate those tasks to others. And what I also like about this deck is that, you know, owls can't carry these items, the cups, the swords, the wands, and what have you. It acts as though you can't really see that they're carrying it. So it gives that illusion that, or that, that thought that they can carry it, but it's not going to bring you out of the cards as it would have an owl actually holding it. I think for some animal decks that do that actually have the animal physically holding that object, it kind of takes me out of it. Now, when I first got this deck, of course, if you've seen other walkthroughs, the they will not have the court cards in order of their suits, so they save these for the end. Didn't really like how they did that, so I just put them together for me and made it a little bit more easier. So the Page of Wands is all about that student learning new things. And it has a throwback of the salamander, I think, from the traditional artwork. And the court cards is the only part of this deck where you see owls actually having like some type of human material object on them, such as this owl has the hat. So going into the night here, you literally have an owl in the night. I'm sorry, an owl in armor. So learning from that experience as a student, you're putting all of that knowledge to work and going forth. The Queen, this is a beautiful queen. And then the King, of course, these two are the masters of their suits. Going into the swords here, so the swords act as our communication skills and the way we process each thought. So here we have the beginning of a new thought, the new way of thinking, new way of speaking. So this baby snowy owl is a new beginning, has that potential, and it is the start of the suit. So the Two of Swords here, it's all about talking about making a choice between two different options. And sometimes both options may be lesser of an evil. So you really have to choose which one will benefit you the most. The Three of Swords, this is beautiful. So it's all about going through heartbreak, having a traumatic experience, having trauma, going through grief. Things hurt. And with the Three of Swords, it's all about kind of embracing that hurt, because even though it sucks at the moment, you're going to learn from it and you're going to come out stronger. Very beautiful Three of Swords. Going into the Four here. So this is all about retreating and meditating. After the Three, you're kind of like, you know, in a very sucky mood. So you kind of want to retreat from everyone and just kind of gather your thoughts before you make your next move. So the Five of Swords, this is another conflict card. So we have an owl here, two owls flying away. This owl has kind of been of a jerk. So what this owl may have said or may have not said really had upset these two owls. So they left their two swords with this owl. The Six of Swords is about going into another journey here. We have a singular owl here with the six swords. Typically, it's usually three people on the boat, but here the focus is on the six swords. This owl is coming from a, maybe perhaps a traumatic experience or letting go of something. So they're kind of moving forward, but sometimes when we go forward through things, not every journey is a smooth one. You're going to have some type of bumps in the road. Going into the Seven here, the trickery, the thievery, the debauchery. This is about learning from our consequences. Are we stealing? Are we taking too much that we really don't need? We don't know. This is a very trickery card. Sometimes, you know, those who are around us, they may not be the best for us. The Eight of Swords here, being bound by our thoughts. And sometimes when we're so wrapped up in a situation, we kind of wrap ourselves up, and when it shouldn't be like that. If we had just kind of taken a step back, we can probably look at things a different, clearer, and find a path to a resolution. Going into the Nine of Swords, that Nightmare card. I love the Nine of Swords. So you have an owl here who seems a little frazzled. They're not sleeping, so they have thoughts on their mind that clearly is keeping them up at night. And then the Ten of Swords here, this is a very gruesome card, so if you don't like animals that have been either stabbed or killed, then this is, you know, a difficult card to take, but this is the end of the road. This is hitting rock bottom. However, when you hit rock bottom, there's no more further you can go down. It's only how you go up. The Page here, wearing the little cute hat, learning new ways of communication. And then the Knight, taking all of that learning and putting it into experience. And then the Queen, looking very royal. And then the King. All right, going into the Ace of Pentacles. So we have the baby owl here coming out of the shell with the singular pentacle here. This is the beginning of new materials, maybe new money, things like that. It's always a good sign of potential. The Two of Pentacles here, all about the juggling act. Juggling between work and play, business and pleasure. The Three of Pentacles, that collaboration card. So you have three owls here, seemingly looking as if they're working together. And the Pentacle suit I really like for sure because of the owls are actually have that green tone. And green is my favorite color. The Four of Pentacles, all about taking in inventory and handling your resources. The Five, experiencing poverty, asking for help when you need it. The Six, about giving and receiving, that charity work. The Seven, taking a step back and looking how far you've come. The Eight, honing in on one's craft, basically doing the same task over and over until you are very well damn good at it. The Nine, living your best life and all that you have accomplished. The 10, there was a YouTube video where one was walking through this and they had said this is the awkward family photo moment. It is so on the point. As you can see, each owl has a different face, as in this is a very candid photo. So the Ten of Pentacles is all about the ends of the chapter of the Pentacles, about enjoying your wealth and abundance with others. The Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. All right, going into the Cups, which deals with our emotions. We have a single owl coming out of the shell, going towards the cup. New potential for emotions, relationships, friendships. The Two of Cups, basically having a date, if you will, having a strong connection with someone. The Three of Cups, having a celebratory moment with friends, spending time with your loved ones. Going into the Four here, kind of the boredom card. You have Three Cups in front of you when you're so contemplated on that, so fixated on that. You have someone here kind of coming to get you out of your rut. And then the Five here, crying over spilled milk, basically. Have the owl here with 3 cups that have spilt, but you're not looking at what you have. behind you, 2 cups filled. The 6 of Cups, the nostalgia card, the kindness card. So each cup has a different food for the owl. So you have worms and looks like lots of little insects and worms. So you have an owl basically saying, hey, I have all this stuff. I'm going to share it with you. The 7, basically, you have all of these different options in front of you, what really you desire. You just basically have to pick one and go through with it. The 8 of Cups here, basically letting go what's no longer serving you. The 9 of Cups, kind of having that wishful thinking here, having all your wishes come true. And then the 10 here, beautiful. Love all this open space. The 2 owls here fighting over worms. Embracing all of your emotional abundance with others. The Page. I love how these owls and the cups are like this beautiful pink, purpley. All right, so now I'm going to shuffle these cards and pick out a card to see what the guidebook has to offer. All right, this one flew out. So we have Justice. Ooh, good one. All right, so going into the guidebook here, it's going to be full color. So let's start from the beginning. So we have about the author. This is Pamela Shen, and then Elizabeth Alba as the illustrator. Gives other works. All right. Introduction, The Calling, talks about the owls a little bit. And then it goes into the 78 cards of the tarot, talks about the suits. Then, okay, dives a little deeper into the major arcana, the minor, the court cards. And then it also talks about the element of each suit. The know-it-all. So this is a very generic about beginner stuff like cleansing your deck, interviewing your deck, shuffling and reading the cards, tarot exercises. Perfect. All right, so in the major arcana here, so let's go to Justice, which is 9. Ooh, maybe it's not 9, it's 11. Okay, so we get a full page color of the actual card, which I love. So Justice. The Justice Owl is always watching and making sure that the karmic energies of the realm are balanced. For every action taken, there is a matching consequence delivered, good or bad. Thankfully, this owl does not have a lot of work to do because all of the owls have learned to show up and take responsibility for the choices they make and to be fair, truthful, and full of integrity. Upright owl wisdom. You are currently on the right side of the scale, and your actions have gained your favors with the Justice Owl. If you are experiencing conflict in some kind of legal battle, know that if you stay neutral and fair in your actions, you will win. The scales are swaying your way, and it looks like you will come out ahead. Reversed Owl Outlook, which this is the reversal meaning. What you might think is fair is not fair to everyone. Remember to turn your head the other way like the Justice Owl so that you can see and experience things from other people's perspectives. Own up to your mistakes, balance your scales, and make different decisions. Accept the consequences and learn from them so that you can move on to more abundant experiences. So going into the minor, let's see, basically getting the same amount of text, so that's good. Yeah, which I really like that. I like that you get a balanced amount of information for the minor just as much as the major. All right, and then it goes into the court cards. And there is spreads back here. Yep. Single card spread, 3 card, and then there's other spreads, which should be more, there should be themed spreads in here. Yep. There's one here. And let's see. And then Taking Flight, which is just a conclusion of the book and the deck. So folks, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the Tarot of the Owls? Honestly, I was very surprised how well it read for me during Robin's live. That was the first time I read with it. It was very easy to read. It reminded me of the Everyday Witch Tarot. Shockingly, not surprised since it is by Elizabeth Alba, but it's a very fun deck to read with. I really enjoy the artwork. If you are an owl person, I mean, this is a no-brainer. This is a deck that you'll probably want in your collection, and you're probably going to enjoy it. I really like how the guidebook is not so serious in tone. It does bring some of, you know, the hard-hitting meanings of the cards, but it kind of doesn't make it very intimidating to work with, which I really appreciate. The owls, of course, they are the main star in terms of their kookiness, their charismatic images, and just their personality in these cards. It's just a really beautiful deck, and it's just a really easy to read deck. So if you're really into RWS clones or RWS inspired decks and you love owls, then more than likely you already have this in your collection or it's on your wish list. So folks, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this deck? What is your favorite suit from this deck? Is it the Pentacles? Is it the Cups? Is it the Swords? Or is it the Wands? As I fail to make this really cool effect here with the cards, but it's okay. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, I will see you for my next video. Take care.